Okay. Versatile Vigilante, Young Vince, Uncle Vinny. Got the man, the birthday boy, belated birthday boy,
yeah.
Mr. CJ Mayers.
Thank you for having me.
My guy,
Yes,
welcome, bro.
Let's get it.
Yo, first most important question, how was your birthday?
Birthday was good.
Okay.
You know, I'm grateful to be alive. You know what I'm saying? 25. We beat the statistic. You know what I'm saying? So,
Quarter century.
You know, J. Cole said it best, right? And I'm happy, grateful to be here, living my purpose. And birthday was good. It was a Tuesday, so didn't really do much. Didn't have a little drinks. You know what I'm saying? Had some fun. Recovering now. You know what I mean? But it was fun. I enjoyed it. And the real turn up is this weekend. So I'm looking forward to that.
Let's go, bro. A little rock star lifestyle.
Yeah, you know what it is.
I love it, man. So, yo, thank you so much for coming out. First things first, shout out to big homie M-Works for helping to line this up. How'd you get in touch with M-Works? That's a good way to start it off, I think.
So, yeah, I think it was maybe 2-3 years ago. I didn't know this, but my family, like my cousins, they already knew him. And they actually like grew up with him and like were close with him. So my cousins were like, yeah, we're going to tap you in. You guys can meet up. And I think it was an event that my cousins held last year. They had a basketball tournament. I got his connects and we talked. And I said, hey, working on this film. When it premieres and when it's done, I want you there. I want you to let me know what you think. And also we could talk about, you know, possibly making something happen in the future. And he was down. And, you know, that guy, I've seen his like videos from the beginning. And I didn't even know this whole time, you know, that he knew my family. So that was like the trippy aspect of it. But everything kind of came full circle in the way that it needed to. So yeah, we got tapped in. He came to the premiere. He had fun, and you know we're talking about working on something. We ain't gonna disclose that yet. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's coming.
I love that, bro.
It's
the
coming.
universe works in funny ways, man.
Most definitely.
Yo, you know what? He always is big on like working hard, strong work ethic, and doing my research on you. I'm like, bro, this guy's just turned 25, and he's got full ass films out. Premieres under his belt. I'm like, all right, I definitely see that connection there, you know?
Yes.
So, yo, talk a little bit about how you became a filmmaker in the first place. Talk a little bit about that journey for you.
Well, it was a long journey, as I'm pretty sure it is for any filmmaker or, you know, director or anybody that wants to be involved in Hollywood. But it originally kind of started back when I was, I would say, maybe 8 years old.
Okay.
And I was always, like, in the arts. Like, I was in piano from a young age, from 4. And then I had dance. I did dance as well. And it wasn't the best visual artist, but I always could write. And that was something that was always my thing. And originally, I wanted to be an author. And then what ended up happening was I saw a little movie called The Dark Knight. Okay. And to this day, that is still my favorite movie of all time. If you ask anyone that knows me, they'll tell you that. But I was so immersed from what Christopher Nolan did. And I was only 10 when that movie came out. And I could literally say the movie line for line. Like, the whole thing, like, I know it. That's how many times I've watched it. And, like, I remember watching it as a kid, and I was so obsessed with it to the point where I'm like, I got to, like, make this one day. I got to be, you know, the guy that can create these type of experiences. So I started watching the behind the scenes, and I was like, okay, this is so interesting how they were able to make this. And movies just was always on my mind. And over the years, fell in love with more movies and how they were made. And I said, okay, I'm already writing short stories and little scripts and novels and ideas. What if I write scripts in terms of making my films legit and actually bringing them from the book aspect to like the visual film aspect? And that was really the process after that. I would say it was like about 2013 or 14. I kind of said, I don't really want to be an author. I would love to still write, which I do, but I actually want to make films. And 2014, we started our YouTube channel, Mayerwood Entertainment at the time. And that was a process, but it was definitely, like, I guess you could say experience that I needed, because we started doing scripts together, and then we did skits, little rant videos, creative type of stuff like that. Those, all that type of stuff. And then after years of that, that's where we said, okay, it's time to get into the professional aspect and start making actual feature films. And that's all she wrote from there. So it's a long journey, you know?
I love that, bro. Good for you. I really like, what I like about your story is you got inspired by film. You always enjoyed writing. You're like, let me actually make some shit. As opposed to like, oh man, I wish I could do it.
Exactly.
Like, yo, you really did it.
Yes, thank you.
That's huge, bro. That's a huge step. Everyone that I talk to that's kind of building their own thing, that's always the common thing. Like, you got to start.
You have to.
You know? Was that something where it was like, nerve-wracking for you to post that first YouTube? Because you would have been, what, still in high school?
I was 16. Yeah.
So your friends are gonna see that shit. Like, was that one of those things where you're like, oh god?
Yeah. Like it definitely was at first, where I feel like this, like you're always gonna be nervous to do things, right?
Sure.
But the nervousness like doesn't like overtake you when it's, I guess, purposeful, passionate, and meaningful.
You want to actually do it.
Exactly, right?
Exactly.
And not gonna lie, putting up the first video, you know, looking back at it now, it's outdated compared to what we do now. But, you know, we were kind of like, okay, let's see what people think, you know, because people have been saying we should do, you know, films or entertain. People always liked us doing drama skits in school, because I had originally started with my cousin. Okay. So it was us two who really started the movement.
Is that the guy, when I saw the video when you're talking about smoking with only graba in it? And the other one too, where it's like I forget the term you use, but he smokes the whole thing in like one. Is that your bro? That's your cousin?
Yeah. So
shout out to your cousin.
Listen, yo, Shaq, he killing it, man. I'm gonna plug him right now because honestly, if you're a director or a person who's a creative looking to put people in your stuff, you need a black male that is talented. That's the guy you want to get, because he honestly has so much potential. And, you know, I try to give him as much opportunity as possible in my work, but he's been there since day one. And, he's the guy. Like, you'll see him with me all the time pretty much. But, yeah, we were the ones that had come together and said, yo, let's do this. And we dropped our first video back in 2014. And, you know, what it was is that we were excited to see what people were going to say. But not going to lie, at the point we were at and when we dropped our video, we actually had a lot of, like, haters.
Okay.
We had supporters for sure, but the school that we went to was very, like, there were a lot of people that didn't like us there. And I don't know what it was, but we were always kind of the same. Like, we've been the same since high school. We knew what we wanted to do. You know, if you were cool with us, we rocked with you. If you didn't, you know, we kept our distance. But people didn't really kind of like, you know, I guess maybe our approach or our energy in terms of how passionate we were with our art and what we wanted to do. I don't know what it may be.
Interesting.
You know what I'm saying? But there were people that really rock with us and what we did, and there were people that were like, yo, you guys are never going to make it. You know, stop making films. Like, you're not going to be shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was always some type of comment there behind the scenes. And then we changed our school environment, and everything else was good from there.
Okay.
Because we went to a school that had a lot more support, build our, you know, our knowledge in the arts, and everybody was literally, from when we stepped in that school, was like everybody was supportive, and I loved that. So it was like a night and day contrast. But that definitely helped the YouTube journey, you know, ongoing from there versus, you know, the original place, right? So yeah, it was a task. I'll say that for sure.
Yo, that's real shit, bro. Because I've talked about this with a lot of people lately. Like, your setting does play a big role in you. If you're around people that aren't trying to level up, if they're around people that are hating on you, talking shit, like, even if you're a strong ass person, you're gonna, you know, your confidence might waver. If you're around people that are doing great things and supporting you, it's only gonna help. That's real.
And that's the part that, you know, we understood.
Right.
Like, long term, we get it now. But back then, we were like, yo, what's going on? And we're just trying to,
especially as a kid.
Exactly. You know, and we were young. Like 16, and we technically started 15, but we didn't call it Merriwood until we turned 16, and then we kind of branded it from there. So, you know, 15, 16-year-olds, you know, hearing that, it definitely did hurt, because it's like, why are you doubting us? I'm not making content that, like, hurts you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm just trying to see what I can do, you know what I'm saying? And I would tell my parents at the time, I'm like, if you go to an environment and it's like that, you're not going to want to go. You're not going to want to try.
Simple.
You know, it's very simple, but, you know, sometimes they don't understand it like that. But then you could tell if you were to look at my grades from there and compare it to the new school I went to, it was like a complete 180.
Okay.
You know, and I love that because I felt more at home at that school, right? And it definitely helped along the journey. I think if I didn't go there, I probably wouldn't have been where I'm at right now. And, you know, that's why I'm so grateful for it. And I look back to those years as like it was all a journey, you know, to where we are now. So
formative years. No, that's real, bro. Then how long after, when you were doing the skits, did you take it to a different direction in terms of actually making films?
I would say, like, when we did the YouTube skits, it was around 2014 to 2016. And then from 2016 is where we kind of started experimenting with short films. So we were doing that on YouTube. And then 2017 to 18 is where we said, all right, we may do a couple skits every now and then, but we're going to do a feature. And we made Vanish in 2018, and that was our first actual feature film. So that was like the transition there. And every now and then you may see us do a couple skits, but it was around that time, around 2018, where we made that full feature pivot. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So not too long, bro. That's a journey, but it's like you're clearly on that path.
Yeah.
So you made Vanish. You were writing it and directing it?
Yes, and editing it, and started it.
And you started it.
Bro.
Yo, good for you, man.
Thank you, man.
I'm sure you learned a lot about not only film, but yourself on that process.
Most definitely.
What would you say was like that main challenge and main thing that you took from it going forward?
From Vanish?
Yeah.
From Vanish, one, I have to learn how to work with what I need versus what I have. I think that was the main one where, I mean, we used our own money for that film. That was all out of pocket. There was no funding, none of that, right? So we worked with whatever we got. And obviously, not everybody's going to be on the same page as you. So that definitely affected production and prolonged it because we had people who weren't too serious at times, people who, were unreliable. And it's just a habit of me saying, hey, come in. And it's something I'm learning till now, that I got to work with what I need, right? And it may prolong production if I have to wait a certain amount of time to get someone, but that's okay. And at the time, I was like, no, I got to get it done now. So that's something I definitely learned and picked up from that. And, going forward, it's definitely, I feel like, something knowledgeable and needed for my career because, you don't want to do that when you're actually making this money on the line here, right? And time. So that's something that it's stressed to me from very young, which I was about 20 when I made Vanish. But now I'm like 25. I'm like, yeah, like that's something I'm so grateful that I picked up.
That's a terrific lesson. I feel like for life, not only just making films.
Yes.
So I feel like directing is kind of similar to life in that you can only control what you can control.
Yes.
You got to put things in the best possible position. Something gets fucked up. Yeah. Okay, let's keep it moving.
Exactly.
I feel like it's a great test of patience too.
Definitely.
Like, yo, it's not ready yet.
Bro.
It's not ready.
You, like, the patience, people ask her, like, how are you so patient? I'm like, it's because of this. I had to learn how to be patient because if I were to fall out on set, everything's done. Right now,
exactly.
I can't do that.
You can't panic. You're the last guy that could panic.
Exactly. People are looking to me now, to lead and direct and build and, make this production happen. I can't go scream at people and cry and, say I'm done and then, you know what I mean? Like, everything's done. So that's where I learned my patience.
That's so real, bro. Because if you're setting a bad example, film's going to go to shit.
Yeah, literally.
It's very simple.
Yeah.
Do you feel like your technical experience is not secondhand, but not quite as important as your people skills as a director? Like the leadership factor, would you say that's more important on a film set?
I would say for me personally, most definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like my creativity was always the stronger aspect of it. But believe it or not, I'm not really like a conversationalist, and I tell people this all the time, and they're like, you're lying. I'm like, honestly, I'm very introverted because I was shy as a kid, and for me, like, I've come out of my shell more because of my career, right? But I was always an introverted person, but I understand how to communicate, how to make people feel comfortable, and how to lead and instruct, and I picked up those things from my career. When it comes to the creativity, that always overshined my technical aspects because I do have editing background. I've done music videos, I've done all of that, right? But it was never something that was like crucial or needed for me because I always wanted to direct. So I guess my passion never went fully into learning all the pieces of the cameras and all the different settings and all that stuff. I'm like, I can hire people for that. My focus is to direct and write, and I have my team to help bring the vision to life. So like, definitely for me, it's creativity for sure.
It's real.
You know what I mean? But it doesn't hurt to learn, and it's all a learning process too.
Exactly. Those are skills that you could learn, but who you are as a person, I think, makes you special, bro. It makes the film special and the project special, and that's real, man. I like how you touched on, like, naturally, I'm not the most extroverted guy.
Yeah.
But you nailed it, bro. If it's doing what you like to do, you'll do it.
Exactly.
And I think that's what a lot of people forget sometimes.
Most definitely.
If you don't like to do it, that's number one, bro.
Yeah, you're no passion.
The passion, bro. The passion will force you to do shit that you never thought you would have accomplished. Shit you never thought you would have.
100%.
A lot of those guys at your first school probably had no passion. You know,
you said it.
Real shit. Like, yeah, that's a part of growing up too, and you're
Yeah.
realizing they're not hating on me for me. They're hating because they got nothing that they enjoy to do.
They can't see themselves doing it, so they look at you like, "Oh, you can't do it." I'm
Exactly.
Like, just because you can't do it, because I've never, at least, and to my knowledge, I would never go out of my way to hurt anyone or downplay anyone, even if I didn't believe in myself or them to even fully do what they needed to do. I'm still gonna support them because at that moment in time, that's what they want to do, right? And they have to learn and grow. And if they say, "Okay, this is not for me," that's just part of the process. But who am I to say, "Yo, you're never gonna make it"? You know what I mean? Like, I would never do that. I don't want to be someone's villain origin story, and then now they're like, "Yo, he said that. Now look where I'm at." You know?
Real shit.
Michael B. Jordan just did it the other day, and you see what I'm saying? So like, that I never wanted that. I was the unfortunate. I guess I was on the other side of it, unfortunately, at times. But it's funny because some of those same people had messaged me years later, like, "Bro, I rock with you. I love your stuff." And I'm like, here we go. That's just how it is. That's Canada for you.
It's fun. It's fun, bro. It's just funny at the end of the day.
That's just full circle, right?
Full
It
circle.
always comes full circle. So, you just got to be humble and, I guess, live in the moment, understand what your purpose is, or try to, and, like, have passion for what you want to do, because that will show. You know what I mean? And that's all it is. That's all it is.
Exactly, bro. Every day's a learning experience if you're willing to, you know. So you made your first film, Vanish. From there, was that like, I'm hooked? Like, I'm all in on this shit? When's my next movie coming out?
Right away. And honestly, that was probably another thing I learned was a mistake of mine, because as soon as we dropped Vanish, I had already written my second film. And I'm like, yo, we're going in right away, because our favorite genre, especially my favorite genre to write, is like suspense, action, drama.
Okay.
So like those three are like my main. So I was like, okay, we're going to write an action drama for our next film, because we've done action in our skits and in our films before, but we just wanted to, we don't have the budget, obviously, to do these big action set pieces. So we're like, okay, let's do drama, let's do suspense, do thriller, things that don't require too much choreography, right? But then the next film, we're like, okay, we're going in all the way, full action, hour-and-a-half project. We were like, okay, this is going to be it. I wrote it. I was so excited to get it done. We started filming May 2019, and we shot half the movie. March comes of 2020 and COVID, and that shut the whole shit down. And that hurt, because I have the movie sitting on my computer. Like, it's there, right? And I really wanted to finish it, but with the lockdown and everything that happened back in March 2020, there was no way that was going to happen. And we had to postpone the film and cancel it, unfortunately. So we ended up working on 321 after that.
Yeah.
And it was a smaller project, which ended up being pretty much the same length. It was written as a smaller project, but then it grew. And that's just film, right? But it was a smaller project. We're like, oh, let's tackle this. Let's film this. And we shot it during the pandemic. Don't ask me how we did it, but surprisingly, I look back to this day, I'm like, damn, we did this all in 2 weeks. It's insane. You know what I mean?
Bro.
Madness, man. Like,
That's insane.
bro, sleepless nights, stress. Like, there was so much going on. Like, someone is going to have to do a documentary on just that, just making that film, because there was so much behind it, and everybody put in a lot of work. Like, it wasn't just me. I had an amazing team, right, and a crew that was able to somehow make this magic happen. My DP, Kiana, shout out to her. I'm plugging her too. Most talented, one of the most talented camera women I met. She did that all, like, with no complaints, and that's hours of filming. Like, I don't even know how many hours, but it was a lot. And, you know, if we didn't have a DP as talented as her, I don't even think that movie would have been out, or at least not look the way that it did. You know what I mean? And, that was definitely the process after Vanish. We went into Gray Skull. Went in fresh, maybe went a little too quick. COVID happened, and then we kind of took a step back, said, let's do something else, and 321 finally came out, and we're at a point now where we're looking to see what we could do with that half a film that I have on my computer.
Never say never.
Never say never. We're going to pitch it, so stay tuned.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Let's get it, man. Yo, that's an awesome story, because I think a lot of people would have gotten so disheartened, like, fuck, all this money, time, effort. I'm done. You looked at it like, maybe you still felt that way, but
Definitely
I'm
did.
not done.
No.
We're fucking making something happen.
Most definitely.
That is a sign of someone that's really trying to go get it, bro.
Trust me.
That's huge, man.
I
Impressive.
realized, like, I could sit here, and I did have those days where I'm like, yo, bro, what am I going to do? I'm stressed, wasted thousands of dollars, because thousands gone.
Absolutely.
So much gone.
You can spend that like this, bro.
Just like that. right?
Sure.
Literally. And it was at a point where it's like, okay, I could give up, right? But then I'm going to complain when I ain't shit. So why am I going to give up? I don't care how hard it gets. I got to keep going, because if I complain and I'm like, oh, why am I not famous, or why am I not successful? And, well, you stopped. You know what I mean? Job's not finished, right? So we always got to keep going, no matter how hard it gets. Take a break, clear your mental, because that's important, right? But at the same time, don't ever give up on your dream. If it's your purpose, you can't give up on that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way.
Big facts.
So that's what it is.
I'm clipping that. That's not gonna be the fucking clip, bro. That is so facts.
That's it right there.
Yo, it's so funny. I was literally talking to one of my good friends about that today, and I literally said that don't stop, because if you stop, no one else is gonna wonder where's CJ, where's fucking Vince. Like, no, they might for a minute, but as time goes on, got their own life.
Exactly.
It only hurts us.
Exactly.
And
we're watching everyone else
exactly.
get success.
Get in the field. Get in the game.
Get in there, man. Like,
hell yeah.
I just turned 25, and I'm like, yo, we gotta pick it up, because I'm like 25. I'm proud of what I've done. So proud. Honestly.
Bro, you've accomplished a lot, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
You know what I think it is? I think once you realize that you can make something happen, it's kind of an addiction. Yes. Like, yo, oh my God, I can make this happen, this happen. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm hooked.
You knocked some boundaries down, You can't listen to, oh, you can't do this.
No.
That's done now.
Yeah.
I've done it already.
Straight up.
Let's keep going.
And we keep going.
Real
you'll see
shit.
how high the mountain is, like, I look back, and I do have days when I doubt myself, for sure.
Because you're a human being, bro.
That's just what it is. We all have it, and it's inevitable. Like, people would say, like, how can you doubt yourself? I'm like, it's very easy. It's an emotion that we all have. We have our own self-doubts, and we can overcome them, and that's what we got to do.
Fam, it's constant work. Like, even though the patient, like, you could be the most patient person ever. Your patience will be tested.
Yes.
But that's what it is. It's a test.
Yes.
Don't let it break you. Like,
never.
But it's not easy. You know what I'm saying? That's real shit. I like this type of conversation, man, because I think any industry anyone's in could take something from that.
Yes, I hope so.
I think so, bro. I really think so. So with 321, you got that in theaters. I saw you at a premiere.
Yeah, we premiered it at a theater at it was Innis Town Hall in downtown Toronto. Nice place, really nice place. Thank you guys for having us, by the way. But it was an amazing experience to do it again, because I was so excited to get Grayskull done, and we didn't get to finish it, so we had to wait another 2 years to do 321. But it felt like everything came full circle with that, because it's like, okay, we made up for not being able to drop that one, so it was an experience, man.
Had Vanish been in theaters as well?
Yeah, we did a premiere for that.
Sick.
That was 2018. And then if everything did work out, we were thinking Grayskull would probably drop 2020.
Right.
And then whatever we did will come out after. But it was a 4-year gap since Grayskull didn't drop. So Vanish was the first theater premiere, and then 321 was our second officially.
Got you. So damn, bro, that had to be an amazing moment for you.
It was crazy. Like
a red carpet for your own film that you put all your blood, sweat, and tears into.
It was a lot. Like the thing is like, I enjoyed it so much, and there's just so much emotion that you kind of not live in the moment sometimes, and that's the hardest part. Like, people are telling me things that I said and what was happening, who I was talking to, and I'm like, I don't even remember that. I'm like, what? I just remember I just wanted people to enjoy, So
were you off the Henny or something?
I was sober. I make this rule. I'm like, I'm not drinking, I'm not smoking, I'm not doing nothing before any show, because I got to go up there and talk. I don't want to be under the influence. My legs twist up and my head mosh up when I'm on stage. I don't want to do that, So I'm like, sober now, we can turn up after. You know what I'm saying? So,
very good advice.
Hey, live that advice, man. Because some people could do it, but I'm not one of those people.
Yo, know your strengths, man.
Trust.
That's it.
Trust
know yourself.
Know yourself. Literally, I tell people that all the time. But you gotta know yourself, man, because you might just mess up, and then you go too far and everything mosh up. And,
Big facts.
That was a lesson.
That's real, bro. I wanted to ask you, this is a pure curiosity question. How do you even go about getting a film in the theater?
So depending on how you want to do it, because you can distribute films down here, but then that comes down to legal paperwork, and, productions and distributors and stuff like that. But if you want to do a premiere, independent premiere, there's tons of theaters in Toronto that actually allow filmmakers to come rent out the theater and do events.
That's so sick.
So you just find the one that works for you, what's in your budget, bring out the people, show your movie, do whatever you need to do, and they come out. And I love the fact that we could do that here. You know,
Love that.
and I'm grateful for it.
I love that, bro, because, you know, you think everything's a Hollywood blockbuster. How do you get something into Cineplex? Is another option.
Yeah.
That's so important.
Yeah, and even with that, like, it's funny you said that, because Cineplex now, you can do that.
Okay.
But it is a little bit more of a harder process. Like, I would say Cineplex, if you wanted to screen there, it's not really for independent filmmakers. If you're more established, most definitely, you'll be able to easily get, you know, some type of distribution or some type of deal. But the independent theater lines in the city, there's so many. They offer good pricing, good rates for you to rent out your theater, and they, for the most part, allow you to do whatever you need to do, right? Because we had performances, we had vendors, and even with the first premiere, we had spoken word, and we kind of came up with this idea that we wanted it to be an art showcase with the premiere included, right? So we get to show off other art forms, not just film. We get visual arts, we have musicians, and, you know, spoken word and other things that we can incorporate. And these theaters let you do that. So they're letting us do it. We're going to do it, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, all right, let's get these other artists in here to showcase some black talent and just let people know that, you know, there's more people coming out the city that aren't really getting, you know, the looks that they deserve. And that's all I want for myself, and I want to do that for other people too, right? So that was imperative to me. It's not just my moment. I'm giving the moment to other people who deserve it too.
That's real, bro. I really, really respect that, because you're right. That. It's not just about you or us. Like, it's whole team's a part of this. That's real as hell, man. Yo, you mentioned for black creatives specifically. Do you feel like it's like a responsibility that you have, or just like something you've put into place? Like, explain that a little bit.
I would say it kind of does feel like a personal responsibility of mine, because I don't have to. You know, I really don't, right? But the way that I was raised and the knowledge that I've learned, and, you know, just kind of the perspective that I have, I felt like, yeah, like, if I'm able to help others, why am I not going to do that? I'm not selfish. There's not a selfish bone or jealous bone in my body. So even if someone is doing better than me and I can give them an opportunity at some point, I'm going to give them an opportunity, because, I can, right? And it's what we need in the community. We need more people doing that to inspire the youth or whoever else it may be to do that as well, because obviously we know we're at a point where our community's apart and we need to unify. And the way we unify is through many ways, but one of them can be art. And I feel like it's one of the most important ways. So if I'm in a position where I can help other artists or whoever it may be, I'm going to do it, you know? And it does feel like a responsibility, but I think it's also just based on how I was raised and the virtues and values that I have. And I feel like that's something that we need. It's something that we need more people to do.
I agree with you, bro. I asked that question because it's not like a sexy topic a lot of the time, like community outreach and helping others, which is crazy because it's so important. And it's almost always like, if we're looking at most mainstream music, film, it's a lot about me. To have like a young guy that's establishing himself while also at the same time really helping people out, I think that's an amazing thing, bro. I think that's how people win going forward. Creating your own tree, your own family tree, bro. I fucking love that.
That's what we need. Like, we see some of it, but I think people mistake the fact that it could only be when you're at a higher level.
Exactly. That's what it is.
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
When I make it, I could do it. It's like, no, along the way, you could do it too. You can bring people who are obviously deserve it and are genuine along the way, right? Because not everybody's going to get an opportunity from you, right? But I see people around me all the time that are working just as hard, if not harder than me. And I'm like, bro, I get a little angry because I'm like, you're not getting any shine either. I'm going to help you get some shine. You know what I'm saying? So come along for the journey. I've always been like that. People have, taken advantage of that, obviously, as well, unfortunately. But, for the most part, I have helped, people that I feel like have deserved it. And I'm grateful for that,
No, I love that, bro. Because that's how the next person can do that for another person. Exactly. It's that pay it forward mentality.
Exactly.
And, you didn't have really film connections, I would think, right? Like, you kind of... And that's so inspiring, man.
Thank you, man.
You did it. Like, you're doing it.
We in it, man.
I think sometimes we look for excuses of why we can't do it, as opposed to, like, how can we do it? What are something? And, for you to have opportunities for others and be willing to share that. Like, yo, it's huge, man.
Thank you, man.
I really respect it. It's not easy to do.
Lots of
you
nights.
Already know.
Lots of stressful nights.
Sleepless, stressful nights.
It isn't easy, right? But
yeah,
doesn't mean that it's not possible. And
facts.
We gotta keep going no matter what pillars are along the journey. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna smash through them and tell the devil no. We're saying, hey, not today.
Exactly.
We're gonna make sure we're
fighting, man.
We're fighting, and that's what it is, bro.
Facts. The cliche life, man. Nothing worth doing is easy.
Exactly, and it's true.
Oldest trick in the book, but it's a fact.
It's a fact, and yeah, you say it's cliche, yeah, but it's facts, and that's what it is.
Cliche gang, man. Cliches for a reason.
Yep, I'm telling you, we live by these cliches, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, yo, I want to ask you this because I noticed it on your IG. If you don't want to get too deep into it, completely respect that. But you posted like security footage.
Yes.
Some really fucked up, like racist verbal abuse, basically. Yeah. And I know that wasn't too long ago. And I know that it had a big impact on you. Would you be open and kind of talking about what happened there and kind of like what the ramifications were for yourself?
Most definitely. Yeah, it was back 2020. I think it was May like 27th or something like that. So we had a neighbor, still our neighbor to this day, actually. I don't know what was said, right? But my same cousin, I was with him, and he had ended up dropping me home. The neighbor's daughter was outside, and we were playing music, hailed him up, went inside, and I was actually writing my book at the time, and ironically, my book was about racism.
Okay.
So I was writing my book, went about my business, and then we heard the doorbell ring about a couple hours later, and the neighbor's daughter's father, which he doesn't live with them, but came to our house, and that's the video that you saw, and pretty much something was said, maybe the daughter, we don't know who said it, right? But they made up a lie saying that we either tried to look at her or talk to her, which that never happened. And even if I did look over there, it's not illegal to do that, right? But I knew the daughter was younger, right? And we never really talked to our neighbors at that point in time, right? So we didn't really know too much about them. We let them do their thing, we do ours, right? That's how we are, right? So when that had happened, he came and accused us of doing whatever to the daughter, or talking to the daughter, or scaring the daughter. Maybe she was spooked, right? But whoever said it, whether it was her or her mother, whoever it may be, ended up telling him, and he was drunk out of his mind. Came to our house, started calling us the N-word, said it about 40 times, and it was said a lot. And you could hear it in the video a couple times, but that was on video. Before things that were filmed, off camera, it was much worse, right? And he threatened us. He said, I'm going to kill you, tried to come in our house. And it almost got to the point where I'm like, yo, we're going to take this guy out. But at the same time, my mom and my sister, they're screaming, saying, you can't do that, you're black, right? Because I could go kill this guy right now. I could go take him out right now. But then as soon as the cops come, I'm done. You know what I mean? And we know how Canada is, and we know how the laws here, we can't defend ourselves, right? And it could have been very easy, right? But at the same time, I'm like thinking about my career, thinking about everything that I've built up. I could lose that all in an instant. You know what I mean? And that's where I tell you that patience came in, because it could have got to that point very quick, and it had to have so much resolve not to do anything. To this day, it still hurts me. It traumatizes me. I don't even like thinking about it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's like, damn, you want to go back and, I'm like, let me do something different this time. You know what I'm saying? And I could care less what people say, because, there people be like, you should have went out there and hit him and do this and that. I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't care. But that happened, and he was making racial threats. Police came, and the first officer was actually a black guy, and he actually arrested him, and he assaulted him and called him the N-word as well.
No way.
Which is crazy. So I don't know how the judicial system processed that, because they actually never informed us about how that process was, but I do believe he did get charged to an extent or whatever. And that was an eerie time for that to happen, because 2 days before that, George Floyd died. The same day that it happened to me was the same day that Regis was killed in Toronto, when she was she had the crisis and on the balcony in the apartment. Yeah. So everything kind of was like, you remember that time? It was like a boiling. Very end.
It was the heat of COVID too.
Yes.
So everyone's all fucked up.
Yes.
That was a crazy time.
It was like looking back, I'm like, we really lived through that.
That was fucked.
It was fucked, because like I couldn't even. First of all, that was a personal. I was already livid from what I saw, right? Yeah. And I've been combating injustice for, police brutality, anti-black racism within our own community, self-hate. I've been combating that since we started YouTube. You can even see it on our channel, right? So when that happened, I was already upset. And then that happened to me, of all people. I was like, I couldn't even believe it, because I'm like, no way this happened to me as I'm writing my book about racism. And the news got involved. I got on the news, did interviews, and the story went out there. And we held a protest for Regis a week later.
Yeah.
And that's when it kind of like, I think I always ran away from the fact that I was meant to be in this fight for injustice in terms of, anti-black racism, self-hate, and the issues we face from the system. I knew it was a part of me, but I always ran from it. But that's when it really came to me like, okay, this is what you're supposed to do. And not just solely do this, but you could do it through your art as well. And the passion that you have and the leadership skills you have, you could do that.
Right.
And that's where that identity for myself was fully born there. I feel like that's when it kind of knocked me literally right in my face with that whole incident that happened. So, I a lot of positive things did come from that situation.
Right.
I was able to make my first documentary based off of that and my personal experiences of that, and I was able to hold a protest, my first protest I've ever held ever, which was crazy to me. But obviously, if I could take it back and make it not happen, I would love to, because it's a traumatizing incident for my family. But that pretty much what happened. It was a messed up event, but
Yo, I appreciate you sharing that, bro. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of crazy as such a crazy event. I feel like it kind of did happen for a reason.
For a reason, yeah.
Isn't that fucked?
That's what I said.
Damn, bro.
Mm-hmm. I was like, people were like, he was supposed to knock at your door.
Yeah, what the hell?
At all places. What are the odds? And I'm like, I'm not really a coincidence guy. I don't really believe in any of that.
Either.
Me either. I'm like signs. I'm very much into the divine, and I'm like, this stuff, things are meant to happen, right?
Facts.
As messed up as it is. So I looked at it like that, okay, what can we do? How can we flip our trauma? We're going to take what was put on us and hurt us, and we're going to flip it and make greatness from it. And I think I did, so.
Did, bro. I respect it, man, because if we keep getting caught up in what happens to us and let that break us down, we're fucked, because things are always going to happen. You can't control. Bro, that guy, I'm glad you said he was drunk, because I was going to ask you that.
Yeah.
Yo, he seemed fucking drunk,
Yeah.
And what are you going to do, bro? You're minding your own business. Some drunk fuck can fuck with you.
Yeah.
What can you do? All we can do is just how we react,
we react, yeah. And he's a second-time offender, actually. He's actually done that before. So...
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm not surprised to hear that.
I'm not at all, because that came off the tongue too easy.
Yeah.
I'm like, you've been saying this. Yeah. You're going to rock at the wrong door. To
be honest with you, twice that we know of.
Twice that we know of, exactly.
Probably many more times.
Exactly.
Probably many bar fights.
Yes.
Like you said, no coincidences.
No coincidences.
Shit's patterns, really. But yo, I like that you are comfortable. Even I'm sure it's very difficult for you to still talk about it, but I like that you do talk about it, because it happened, and it's not a sad story. It's what happened was very sad.
Yes.
But you didn't become a victim,
Exactly.
And I love that, bro. I love that. Again, that origin story.
Yes.
Yes. It
It
could have been the villain origin story. I think it's part of the hero story now,
the hero story, literally.
Batman
Easily.
Had bad shit happen to him, bro. His parents got smoked.
Yeah.
And
look at him.
I fucking love that, bro. No, I'm really glad you brought that up. Or I brought it up, but
I'm
glad you expanded on it, man. Because, again, with race and all these fucking really controversial topics, I think the worst thing is when we're afraid to have a conversation about it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck you. Nothing comes from that.
It's very emotional.
Very emotional. Let's actually have a conversation about it. Say your piece.
Yes.
I don't think anything poor can come from that.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
We tend to kind of veer off topic.
Too much, man.
If you look at just even, Twitter is a good example, right? But any social media platform is pretty much the same. It's we'll start here, and then it goes...
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, what you're saying doesn't need to be said. Let's X all that out. Can we stay on topic? Because if we stay on topic, we can resolve this issue with a proper conversation. But with these topics, we know they're very emotional, driven topics. So very hard for people to kind of have that same control that we may have. You know?
Oh, for sure.
So we obviously have to be the leaders for that aspect and teach these people like, hey, we're not getting nothing done, you know, talking like this and, you know, coming together and going against each other at this point. We're not going to be able to work and build the way we need to build, you know? So
it's a two-way street.
Literally.
Real
we got to
shit.
both be on the same level, same page. And if we're not, then we got to figure out how to get there. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well said, bro. Well said. And kind of on a similar topic, I saw you posted Malcolm X recently.
Yes.
What about him is something that you really, safe to say, admire?
Yes, most definitely. Probably my next to Fred Hampton or Huey P. Newton. Malcolm X is probably my number one.
Okay.
So my dad was very much like into the Black Panthers. Same with my grandfather on his side. So he was raised with the history and the knowledge, and he lived through a lot of racism and a lot of messed up things growing up here. And he passed down that information to me, and I knew about Malcolm X from when I was a young kid. And it's just the approach that he had, right, is something that I feel like we definitely need to carry in our time now. And I feel like it's also a reason why he doesn't have a day. We have a Martin Luther King Day, but we don't have a Malcolm X Day. And he was really on to, you know, what we needed. And I feel like that's also why they never taught us that. Because we learn about certain, you know, civil rights leaders and activists, and very good that we do. But I find that the school system has hid a lot of these other guys from us, and for a reason. And when you actually research what they were talking about and what they wanted for black people, you understand why.
Yo, that's a whole other topic.
Yeah,
we didn't learn any history from school.
Nothing.
It was all watered down. It was all hero villain. Like they made it so black or white. Like I was reading about the Civil War, and bro, all the mainstream shit that was talked about is not really how it really was. You know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, damn, bro, why is this so hidden? You know,
so
watered down.
Yeah.
With the Malcolm X thing though, do you feel like it's because he was a pretty, he'd knock you off if need be.
Yeah, most definitely.
You know, he was no bitch.
Yeah, most definitely.
Do you feel like that was a big reason why he's not as promoted as other guys?
They promote the turn the other cheek mentality.
Yeah.
Right? Which it's like that's what's oppressed us for so long. We're in a system obviously against us, so we don't have the I guess you could say the benefit of acting off our emotions and impulses.
Right.
Because you see that never gets us anywhere good, right? But at the same time, strength in numbers. Malcolm X was able to unify people to show that if we all said no, if we all move this way, they really can't F with us, right? And you could see that based on what he was doing. And there's a reason why they had to take him out, because you could tell the man was really bringing people together. And the Black Panthers were literally formed because of his passing, because of the system taking out another one of our leaders, you know? So that's another reason why they don't want us to learn what he was teaching. He was all about, hey, you know, we'll take you out. Yeah,
we can't have too many of this. This guy.
We need black people to be peaceful, right? We need you guys to be civil and obedient, and that's the main one, right?
Yeah. Even I feel like people in general. Like, no,
like literally, like
you know.
And what he's saying wasn't just beneficial to us.
No,
this is for everyone.
He was like a great example of like a free spirit.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Like you can't tell this guy what to do. I love that.
100%.
That's like anyone can take that.
Literally.
From what did you think of the film portrayal, Denzel?
Actually, Denzel's my favorite actor. So
okay.
Off rip, I'm biased. You know, I did like it. I definitely did like it.
Yeah.
I like Spike Lee, of course. You know, he's a legend, all-star. I did like it.
You liked it.
If I was in a position to make a Malcolm X movie one day,
that would be lit.
I would love to. That would probably be a passion project for me, because
it would have to be raw, bro. Like,
yes. Like nitty gritty, like we're in it, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. And like Spike Lee did an amazing job, you know, and Denzel I think was a good, you know, Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? It's Denzel, right? So
he's the man. What's your favorite Denzel role?
Denzel role? Oh shit, bro, that's hard now. There's a lot. Okay. I wouldn't even put Malcolm X up there. I would probably say, oh, that's difficult. No, you got me thinking.
I'm going to give you mine after you say yours. I got two.
Okay. I did like him in Training Day.
That's one.
It's Training Day, right?
Classic.
Deja Vu.
I never seen that.
Beautiful movie. Definitely recommend. Book of Eli.
I've never seen that either.
Oh my gosh, you got those two right there. Book of Eli over Deja Vu.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful.
I gotta check that.
You would love it.
I gotta check
Amazing.
that. He's the man for sure, and he's like seems like the coolest fucking guy.
I'm telling you, yeah.
He's not Hollywood, man.
No, he's not.
He's a real one. Yeah, I love him in Flight.
Flight was like,
I love Flight, man.
Oh my god, Flight was beautiful,
What
man.
a film.
Like,
What a film, bro. He bodied that.
He did, and I'm like, yo, what he did in the film. Like, the way they showed the crash and everything.
Was
and
insane,
that was insane,
bro.
I'm like, what do you mean we're going to roll it? I'm like, what? Like,
it.
I'm telling you, Denzel, man, you the man. You the man. You the man, bro.
That scene when he's in the... spoiler alert, but
yes,
it's been out for fucking 10
years now. Yeah, like, come on,
watch
guys.
it. That scene when he's at the hotel and he opens the mini bar and he closes it. But then he opens it back up.
Yes,
and
grabs
the... Holy fuck, man. Don't do it.
That guy was
what
drinking
a film,
and flying, man. Like, what? Like...
Shout out John Goodman, too. One of the all-time great characters, man.
John Goodman, hey, he's another one right there. That's another all-star. Like,
hell yeah.
What was he in? He was in Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
I remember Cloverfield Lane. That was good.
Big Lebowski, of course.
Big Lebowski. I think he was in the Kong film.
He might have been.
I think so, if I'm not mistaken.
Who's your favorite director? Because you're a director, bro.
Yes.
Who's your favorite director?
Christopher Nolan. Hands down. Easy.
Shout out my guy Tyreek or Die. He's a great Toronto artist, and we talked for time on this show about Christopher Nolan.
Oh,
bro.
wow, okay.
He loves Christopher Nolan.
Come on, it's Chris, man. No, like, bro, like, every one of his movies I love.
You need those guys that are box office certified that are super creative.
Yes.
You know, there's like no disrespect to like the Transformers movies.
Yeah.
Or, like actually, fuck that shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But
yeah.
that's a box office movie. That's
yes.
not a creative.
It's
movie.
not like
exactly.
It's not like cinema.
No, it's not art.
You know.
But like The Dark Knight was a fucking smash hit. But there's probably courses written about that.
Literally to this, I'm telling
now.
you. If they don't, you should have a course because
that was a crazy film, bro.
To know, and he has a style with his movies.
Yeah, kind of
dark, gritty, but it's just storytelling. A lot of his films, I feel like the theme has to do with time, and not enough time, and he plays around with the aspect of time, and I think in a different way in each one of his films, which is what I really love about how he pieces his movies together. So, like, The Dark Knight, watching that for the first time as, like, a 10-year-old, after watching Batman Begins, I was like, yeah, you got me. Like, I got to do what this guy's doing, you know?
Yeah.
So, him, hands down, he's my all-time favorite. But another filmmaker that, like, I'm really looking up to right now is Jordan Peele.
Okay.
And Jordan Peele, I've loved all three of his films. I mean, I loved him on Key and Peele as well. But seeing what he's doing with his movies, what he's doing is, like, how I want to make my films. And he's, like, probably the biggest... I guess you could say example or the closest example I can give right now. So
got you. I could see that. I only saw Get Out, but I loved it.
Oh man,
it was excellent.
Get Out was like
excellent,
there's so many layers.
Yo, okay.
You gotta love it.
You know what? One of my favorite parts of that film when he first meets the family.
Yes.
And the guy's like, I would have voted for Obama 3 times.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I love that he included that because I feel like so much closet like weirdo shit is masked by
in that one sentence.
Liberal, like, I would vote Democrat. I would vote for Obama.
Yes.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't care.
How are you gonna treat me?
Exactly.
You know, and I love that example because he didn't say, I would have voted. I wanted to vote for Trump. I wanted to vote for Republican. That's the easy.
He went out
thing.
of his way.
That's the easy, like, that's a fucking tell.
Yeah,
you know?
literally.
I love that,
literally.
man. I when I watched that, I'm like, okay, sick.
Yeah, like you
know.
Like, I think a lot of black people have had conversations like that with, people who aren't black, mainly white. I've definitely had those as well. It's like they kind of go out of their way to please you. Or
facts. Who cares who you voted for?
Literally. Because I'm like, bro, I'm not into any political party myself. So it's like, you saying that, I'm like, cool.
Don't care. Like, how do you treat me as a fucking person?
As a person.
Exactly. Man.
And these parties that we're advocating for, how are they treating us?
Facts.
Right? What's the truth behind that? That's a whole nother episode right there on
real
that.
shit.
But it's facts, you know what I mean? And when we're talking about a corrupt system, right, which you can even see in the film, you see how corrupt the system is itself because they were doing that within the system itself, right? then we really want to start asking, like, what are these political parties and these people that we're voting in? What are their real motives and
That's
intentions?
the thing, bro. That's why I just don't believe in, like, there's a good guy and a bad guy.
No.
I think you have to just have an open mind. And be smart out here.
Yeah.
You know, they can't be keywords for you. Like, oh, he does
Triggers.
this.
Yeah.
I fuck
like,
with him.
oh,
like,
no.
Fuck
he
that
said
shit.
this. If someone doesn't agree with me, then, like, no, I don't rock with anything they ever do ever again. Anything they ever say, I'm like, wow, it's people like this is why the world's messed up.
Exactly.
You know
That
what I'm
only
saying?
hurts you. That only,
It's selfish.
you know, it's selfish.
And privileged.
Exactly.
Who are you to say, oh, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of us don't have that privilege. And these people themselves don't even have it, but they think they do.
Just be cool, man.
That's literally what it is.
Cool. Just be cool. It's
Hear
not that
people out.
complicated.
It's not. It's all emotion, like we were saying, right?
Yes.
So people are all in their feelings, like, oh, you know what I mean?
It's not even real emotion. It's not that emotion that you have for, like,
fabricated.
your friends or your kids or your family. It's like, how are you salty about this right now?
That's what I'm saying.
You
Like,
know? That's funny, bro. Are you a music guy?
yes, because I was raised playing piano and
Okay.
instruments, but in terms of music, I love music.
Because music in film it goes hand in hand.
hand in
So you
hand.
score your own shit.
We haven't gotten to the point of scoring. I
Okay.
have just now met people who can score, and going forward, we're gonna have our own scores. Up until now, we've just been licensing music
Nice.
for our films. So you know.
But are you the guy that is picking?
Yes.
There you go.
Most definitely, because I want to find people
Yes.
that understand what I'm doing and that can make the sound for me. I want my Hans Zimmer. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's what I want.
Real
I want
shit.
a guy that I know I could go to. Every movie he's saucing it up. He's nicing it up. You know what I'm saying? So I'll find it one day. And I do have some good people in my circle right now. You know?
Hell yeah, man. I love that about, like, art specifically, because within that, there's so many other branches.
Yes.
Like, I'm a filmmaker, but I get to deal with music. Get to deal with people. Get to deal with all this crazy shit. Like, love that, bro.
That's just what it is. And, you know, when you're in film, I always say it's like the most beautiful career because it literally brings everyone together. You can bring makeup people, you can bring clothing designers, you can bring musicians, scorers, actors, right? Photographers, right? And videographers, bringing everybody together. Whereas other careers that I think are highlighted in the city right now, very independent, very me.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If we were to get a big feature down here, it can bring literally the whole city together in all ways. You know what I mean? So I think we're getting to that point now. And I want to be on the forefront of that for sure.
I think so too, bro. Actually, that's a good question to ask you. Toronto film scene. Is there like a up and coming like guys like yourself?
Yeah.
You have relationship with other people in the city?
Yes, in the last 2 years, I've met a lot of directors from the city, and there are a lot of independent guys down here. A lot of black directors too, which is good. That's what I wanted to see, right? Because up until when I started with YouTube, there wasn't really that much, right? At least to my knowledge. But at the same time, it was still very white, right? Like, oh, if you're white, you're good. They didn't really have opportunities for us up until maybe 4 years ago, right? And still not, to where I feel personally, still not where I want it to be. But there are enough people down here to actually make a change. And now what's pivotal is that we create content going forward that can do that and inspire people to follow us in our path and, you know, create their own opportunities too. So yeah, I have met quite a few, and I'm very excited to see, you know, how we grow this film scene down here because it's still growing.
Oh man, it's a baby.
It's literally, and we got
a lot of potential.
Lots of potential here. There's opportunities coming here. Studios are coming down here now, so it's time to take them and see what we can do with them. You know.
Facts. Okay. We're approaching an hour, bro. I'm gonna let you go, but one more question I have for you before you want to promote anything you want to promote. For someone that loves film, wants to be involved with film, but doesn't know, they don't see themselves as an actor, maybe not even a director. What do you think is a good recommendation for someone to dip their toes in? You know, like what's a good starting point, do you think, for someone that maybe like your younger self, that maybe didn't have a YouTube channel or something? Like, what do you think a good advice would be?
I feel like the cliche thing is to say go to school. I'm not going to advise that. I'll tell you to do it yourself. You will find opportunities and take them when they come, right? And if you feel that the academic side is the way you need to approach it, by all means. But even if you're doing academics, even if you're doing something else to fund your career, try doing it yourself. That experience will mold you into the director or whatever you may want to be when the time comes. And I truthfully believe that, because if I had went into it another way, I don't think I would have that many accomplishments. Right. But because I had the experience of doing things myself, editing, bare bones, filming, getting the different positions. I've done like every position. Right. Where you have a 5-person crew. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like you gotta
real
do
shit.
10 positions yourself, right? So I appreciate these forms, and when you have appreciation for these positions, I feel like it molds you into a different type of person. You know, so do it yourself. Pick up a camera, start editing, write a script, because that is free. Writing a script is free. Create your idea. And even if you're not at the point where you want to film, just mold it. Screenplays, scripts, plot books, storyboards. Do it yourself. Don't wait and say, okay, when I get in the industry, I'll make my first film. No, you can do it now. Quentin Tarantino said the best. The only way to learn how to make a movie is make a movie.
Real shit.
Right? So just do it. That's all I can say.
Legendary actor,
director.
Legend.
100%.
What's your favorite Tarantino?
Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, that's a great choice, man. That's a
Django
great choice.
is a close second, but Inglourious Bastards, man, that was another
great
one.
one.
And it was right after The Dark Knight. It came out, I think, the year after.
Yeah.
So that one,
or something.
it was like 09, yeah. So like that one, like super, like motivated me too. I'm like, whoa, this guy, like,
okay.
I have elements of his work in mine
sure.
too, because he's a big inspiration. But yeah,
he's the man, bro.
Yeah, he is.
Shout out Tarantino. Shout out Denzel. All the guys.
Leo, my boy Leo. He's my okay. So Leo and Denzel are my two.
What's your favorite
Leo movie? This is difficult, bro. Okay, so
I got a few of his too.
Inception.
Makes sense.
Shutter Island.
Okay, Scorsese.
Come on, it's Scorsese, right? Wolf of Wall Street, Great Gatsby is up there as well.
Okay,
those are probably my 4.
That's a good list, bro. I always fucked with Catch Me If You Can.
Ooh,
love that one.
There's so many.
Love that one.
Tom Hanks.
I love that.
Yeah,
movie,
that was a classic.
Catch Me If You Can. Yeah. Departed, of course.
Departed. Oh, Jack Nicholson. Oh my God.
That one is crazy, bro. Jack Nicholson.
Come on, man. These are some legends. You know, I'm grateful that we got to see these films in their prime. You know what I mean? Like, it was beautiful to see that.
I agree.
He really molded him and Denzel. Like the 2000s, they were killing. Yeah, they were killing it.
Fuck, man, legendary shit.
Legendary shit for real, bro.
Bro, I really, really enjoyed this conversation. This was fucking fire.
Thank you for having me.
I want to ask, though, is there anything you want to promote? Any projects coming up you want to talk about? Anything, really. The floor is yours.
So I did have a small PSA project coming out this month, I believe the 21st. It was actually my first funded project.
Dope.
And it's called If Only, and it's pretty much just about gun violence within the Black community.
Okay.
I've lost a couple of friends to some gun violence in the last couple of years, and it's a personal project of mine, but also it's an epidemic, right? A lot of us are dying at our own hands, and I wanted to put that passion into a project that can kind of get people not just talking, but get some action. We can actually see what alternatives there are to stop all the violence within our community. So that will be showcasing at Vibe Arts, which I'll probably have some information about where and times and when. But I believe it is the 21st. Dope. And it will be ongoing all the way into April. So I'll have promotion all that.
Pull up to that for sure.
Most definitely, bro. Would love to see what you guys think. Love to hear what you think. And that's what's next.
Lit.
Yeah.
I fucking love it, bro. Yo, CJ Mayers, I really appreciate it, bro. Yes, so fire conversation. A lot of talent in Toronto, man. A ton of talent.
Tons.
Look out for this guy. New films coming out. Where can people watch your existing films, actually?
So what we're actually doing is we're actually working on a platform to showcase our work.
Dope. And
also help other creators build their own portfolios and work as well.
Fire.
So we'll have more information about that this year, but as soon as it's live and ready, once we finish the beta, they'll be able to easily access both films on there.
Dope. That's going to be huge.
I can't wait for that one.
Let's get it, bro. Let's get some streaming bread.
Exactly.
Let's go,
That's
man.
what we need.
Versatile Vigilante, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Shout out CJ. Shout out MWorks Legends.
MWorks gang.
We're out here, bro. 2023. Let's get it.
Subscribe to this guy.